Algar, what happened last time?
Yeah, what did happen last time? We went downstairs. No, not to the slime room. That was the previous one.
I believe you did go to the slimy level.
We did go to the slimy level, but we didn't go to the slime room, the one where we fled the first time. We did poke around. I know that we went to... we found the room with 3 statues, one of which gave us a bad vibe and we skipped it. We went from the room that had the rivulet of filth in the northeast. We went south from there and turned east and found the room where Rollo and company had encountered the gigantic monster rat and killed it. And we were all almost killed by plague. We searched that again, and I believe to the east and north of that we found the secret, the semi-secret room of one of the former priests or healers who used to dwell in this place, who we found like 5 golden rings, all of which were labeled to my one and only, but only the last one was good. So like the first 4 were like unfinished attempts. So like he was in the process of teaching himself inscriptions. And then we headed home a bit early because we pretty much loaded up on treasure, and we were out of like good options for exploration that didn't leave us in mortal peril, as I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we did see that big fountain was last time, wasn't it? I think it was.
Was it? I thought it was the... Gosh,
Yeah, it was, because since then we had a Discord chat about some possibilities about how to deal with it, and I don't think we've talked in person since then.
Oh.
But whatever. You did good. You did good.
So, yeah, so Algar, you all are about to make yourselves known to your new neighbors. Which tavern do you meet to discuss it the night before? And who will you take with you? I mean, apart from the characters, of course, and the usual henchmen.
Let's see. Who is available today?
Are you going to take the whole army, or are you going to take like just the 3 loyal lieutenants that are the young men who are adventuring mercenaries? Or
Magnus, Alaric, you two are both more socially adept than me. My instinct is to take a small group of guys who are like an honor guard, because if we bring like a whole mob of guys, that gives the impression. Say again?
No, I'm saying I agree. All we need is people to take care of horses and stuff. That's all.
Yeah, we're not here to like show up. If we show up in force, I feel like it's a little menacing, and I don't think we want to be menacing yet.
Well,
sometimes food.
The question is, do we need even more than one? We're not talking about going into the wilderness. We're talking about going basically into the alleys and stuff.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
Is that am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah, because he's like a representative of like civilization and like the law, as I understand it. He's one of the local like law enforcement house guard type guys.
I guess I want to, before we decide who we're bringing, like what exactly do we imagine we're going to do? Like, are we going to knock on the doors of merchant lords and talk with them civilly?
There are no merchant lords here.
I'm imagining that scene from Monty Python where you roll up and you're like, "I'm your king," and they're like, "No, you're not." And then that's gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, so here's. I mean, you'll forgive. I mean,
just before you start, Chris, the representatives of like the highest people that are here is what I mean.
We need to find out how that all works. Yeah. Okay. And
I have a question. Since I wasn't following what's going on, I don't think we're going to a dungeon or something like that. Is that what's happening?
Okay. Yeah. The plan is to make the rounds around the shanties and the other local. We drove away all the monsters and people moved in, and we don't know half of them, and we'd like to get to know them a bit.
All right.
Good. Magnus has ambitions of establishing temporal dominion over the area, which I think is a cool plan, but also impractical. But
it doesn't.
He'll find a way to make it work.
No, this is a slow burn. It's a slow burn. But you're the caller, but
Yeah, but
My
I'm the
take-
caller. I'm not the boss. My job is to figure out what the
Magnus's
consensus is.
Magnus's take is the idea should be, well, it should be Monacan at Magnus's right hand, and all of you guys are the honor guard.
Right. And Flanagan thinks that's ridiculous.
That's fine. No, I mean it's a role-playing choice. I mean it's an idea that comes from Magnus, and it's not ego. It's a matter of how we're going to present ourselves to these people.
Right.
If they see us as represented by well, it matters. It matters how the impression that we give.
And what are we? Are we? Up until now, the Wizards Guild has been a. If I recall, reading on the wall, the Ubas dictates that it's sort of a dispassionate organization that sort of like maintains political neutrality. And
since we're chatting about it, which tavern, Algar?
Right.
I assume. Any objections to the Hounds Lodge? Since
Nope.
I'm already running around the place, sprucing it up.
I would suggest that we do the inn only because part of our idea is to try to get a sense of what's going on around here.
That's an extremely compelling point. I changed my vote.
Okay.
Of note, what I've started to call the peninsula, which used to be what is Zelcor's Ferry, is sort of ensconced behind two different palisades. It's sort of sequestered away from everything else that's going on. There are these sort of different groups of people, but nonetheless, they're bristle back in. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Go to town.
Okay.
Well, yes, you're speaking of Yuba's code, Flanagan?
Yeah, and also just thinking that at the end of the day, who's going to be running around trying to enforce the law? I mean, I guess I thought, is it going to be you, and or is it
No.
going to be?
Oh, don't misunderstand my purpose. I simply wish to know what's going on, to get a sense of who it is that's styling themselves as in charge down there. And we have to give nothing away about who we think should be in charge. We simply want to have conversations, get a sense of what we're dealing with, and then we can have better information with which to judge at a later time. All in a conciliar nature of fashion, of course, as agreed.
Well, that makes sense. I suppose it doesn't make sense to go as the representative of the Hounds of the Pine, figuring out what's what. I mean, it makes more sense to come later, and then once we found out what's going on out there. So I'm fine with that. If you want to present yourself as, I tend to prefer us all to go in as equals. But if you feel like, I don't know what the rest of you feel like, if this is led by the wizard Magnus.
Well,
there's
we are all equals. There's no doubt about that in my mind, my good friend.
I got no interest in any politicking, so you know.
You see, if they speak to us, if they speak to all of us, and on the one hand we have our interesting friend here, gesturing towards the ranger, well, towards Algar, and on the other we have you, hooded and with your gloves over your well-hidden hands, and on the other hand they have, I mean, you see what I'm saying. What are they going to think, and what are they going to think our motivations are?
With all respect, Magnus, do remember that while I am forbidden by my oaths from engaging in temporal authority, and while Flanagan is not a man for the spotlight, I sort of gesture vaguely towards Alaric, we also have a literal knight in shining armor.
Yeah, no, I don't like talking to people about politics.
Well, and on the other hand, you have a
I leave that to the people who want to maneuver and manipulate. That's much
yes.
better.
Well, you
That
yes.
does somewhat. That does
Monacan,
admittedly.
Monacan says...
If I don't like something, I'll hit it over the head.
Monacan says, far be it from me to... Because he never talks. Speak at this August council, but I could tell you what's going on out there.
Oh, well, by all means, my friend. I sort of
welcome your input. I
Yes.
welcome your counsel, sir.
He points his dagger at Father Bloombad. It's him they think is in charge.
All right.
Honestly, that's fair.
So much the better. Yes. Let them fear the light.
Oh, they do.
I do often forget sometimes of the intensity of the authority which you wield, Father Bloombad. You carry yourself with such gravity and dignity that
I've got two friends.
I get the authority of the light sometimes. It's
They
unfair, given how much it has done for me in my life.
two friends that kind of run things in the shanties and the districts that overlook the water northwest of here. And set up somewhat of my own concern.
Okay.
I
So
guess,
go on.
Sure. I traveled with them for a long time. I trust them when they're lucid. Name's Rodacon and Malar.
Yes, and so what they see Father Bloombad as the one they should fear, or to what extent do they consider him in charge?
Well, they don't think he's in charge. They think he's in charge of this place.
Ah,
Look,
Of the peninsula?
there are two walls that separate everyone here on this little island from everyone out there. Everyone in here has built two-story buildings. There's an orphanage, teachers, doctors, physicians, a chapel. It may be nothing compared to what some of you have seen, but it's a kingdom to others. To the people that live in huts out on the waif that extends for miles along the coast of the river here. There's a mystique to all of you. They think that you're crusaders, the army of the light. And for some, that's a good thing. They think you're heroes. And for others, well, they remember a different history.
For every crusader, there is one crusaded against. And of course,
Well, I mean, we could talk to these people. I mean, the first thing I'm thinking is, what are we going to do? And I think this is what you're getting at, my friend, is that what do we have to give these people? We're just going out there and saying we're going to rule you, and we expect them to follow, or what are we doing for them?
our responsibility, insofar as I understand it, is to ensure that civilization has a space to grow. We've all sacrificed our lives or well-being on the altar of ensuring that the pressure of chaos is brought low to a degree that law can thrive. And while we did not build these houses, we did not lift these temples or these orphanages, we cut away the space for which they were to grow. We made the land in which civilization unfolded. So we can take some credit, if not a lion's share, for its fruition.
Those are pretty words.
It's true, but they don't mean much.
I'll say my piece, and then I'll be silent. I know a couple of places we could start, but if I were you, I would ride out there on horses and in armor, find one thing you don't like, with one person you don't like, and I'd have that mace, and he points over to Father Bloombad's mace. I'd have that crush their skull in.
It's a sound plan.
Sensible.
Well within our talents.
It's true.
I guess we don't know what we don't even like yet, though.
Well, I
Do you have any
suppose.
suggestions?
I'm sure
Yes,
you'll
I
find
suppose
quite a
my-
bit.
What's that?
I'm sure you'll find quite a bit.
Hmm.
Not all of it can be fixed with a mace.
Well,
Mace,
as
yeah.
you know, we have other means.
And the fear of a mace stretches farther than any sword arm can.
I mean, that's I got to admit that's what I was sort of thinking until Magnus started talking about all these big ideas. Well,
Yeah, I think you misunderstand me, my friend. I
often do. I mean, you're a much smarter person than I am.
yes, I mean the things I talk about with you are not the things I suggest we talk about with the little people.
Here is my proposal, such as it is. Given our collective august qualities, we're men of reason, but we're also men of violence. I propose that we go forth as good neighbors to the people of the shanties, bearing some gifts, as we may, but also bearing, as Menakan said, a mace, armor, and swords. We will no doubt encounter injustice, and when we encounter such injustice as the light demands justice for, well, we will be in a position to provide. And if we do not encounter such injustice, let us celebrate and go home happy.
What do you
How do
think
you
of
feel
all
about
this?
How do you feel about this proposal?
What do you think, Bloombad? I mean, it's your metaphorical mace we're talking about, I suppose.
It's true. Your input
Yeah.
is important here.
Yeah. We should do it.
All right. Well, I mean, well then why not take half a dozen or 10 mounted troops of the Hounds just to march around and see what's going on out there.
Yeah.
We're presenting
little
ourselves.
A little menacing. We can carry ourselves with a bit of bravado.
And
We
if
are,
there's
after
someone
all,
to talk to, they stay
yeah,
outside, and that's fine.
All right. Flanagan,
Well,
I trust your wisdom in selecting which of your men are best suited for this task. I've taken the liberty of polishing up the armor, so they should all be quite presentable.
Well, thank you, Algar. That's mighty fine. And thank you
Well,
for
you do
reminding
pay-
me that
You do
I'm not
pay
the
for
most-
my room and board, and I try to pay back as best I can.
I do apologize, everyone, for forgetting the way I present myself these days. I sometimes forget that I'm a little bit more on the eerie looking side than I was when I first showed up here.
Oh, you just need a good barber.
Can't do anything. Barber's not going to do anything about this. And
It depends
Hold
how
up.
sharp the razor is, my friend.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Sorry, no, that's a terrible joke.
Morbid.
Gallagher does not answer.
But in all seriousness,
Captain Gilver is an option, by the way. In this case, is the dog. I know you said you want to take Rex. And then how many mercenaries? And do you want to take Captain Gilver?
So is Gelver the captain of the?
of the house guard, I believe so. Yeah, he's one of
Okay.
the
Oh yes,
he
that's
mostly-
right.
Yeah,
he manages he's never going to a dungeon again, and nor should he.
he
but
answers
Yeah,
directly to you, Flanagan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, let's take him. That's cool. And we have the names of those other three, don't we?
Somewhere, I'm afraid I
don't
don't
think I
have them,
ever
but I imagine
posted
you
it.
may have written them.
I didn't.
If we go back through the logs, I'm sure we'll find it.
Yeah. There's
My
one. Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I got nothing to say.
My friend, I say to Menakan, is there anyone in particular that's causing you and your friends trouble?
Nope. Business is good, in fact.
Let's see.
Did we find out who, while I was gone, as it were, did we find out anything about that toll bridge tax guy? That's the only one I know
Yeah.
anything about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it seems that the merchant lords who have become interested in the region we should assume that they're probably a lot more powerful than us. And so it's one of them, and we didn't really find too much more out about that guy, but Monacan said that there's only one that he knows, and he also said he's the only one we'd want to meet. But that's what he said. So
yeah, and the big thing, and maybe this is something I didn't really understand, Dan, but so there's no the real merchant lords, the people who are coming in and exerting influence out there. They don't live here. Most of them live out on the west side of the big island, and so we don't really know who's representing them. And so that's kind of a piece of what this is, right? Is like finding out what the top of the food chain is here. So those tolls that were being, so we do have that one name, but that's not. He's a person who's out there, but not necessarily like merchant lord.
Right.
Pingon or whatever his name is. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna march out with Ross 10. We've got a bunch of mercenaries who are training on horses. Like we've got horses for everybody, basically, right? So I'm going to suggest we take the three. I'm just going to write this in the mercenary thing here. So we're going to take Gelver. Let's just see how people, if you watch the Welcome Back Dead. We'll take Gelver. We'll take our three besties. And
let's pack a lot of rations with us, please.
Rations?
Yes.
To give out?
Gifts? Or...
Well, no, we got Gelver with us. I just want to keep things safe, friendly.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, that was too soon still. All right, go ahead.
Gilver starts crying and runs out of the room.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
So yeah, so it's 10 total, or actually that's 11 total with Gelver.
Okay.
All on horseback.
All right.
And wearing the heraldry of the Hounds. So cool. Which is like black.
Yeah,
because we've got. I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You made tabards out of that snake, right?
Yeah. Maybe not everybody has that, but I imagine Gelver has that at least. And I think that maybe if we can, we're trying to mimic that with the rest of the Hounds. So there's like that cool looking tree, like the old Celtic or whatever it is, Saxon tree emblem that was on the sword. Yeah, that's white on black. Like it's all black with just this white looking thing on the front.
So long as one leaf remains, that tree cannot be felled.
All right. Okay. This is the 8th of Judra Fomar on Sunny Day, and probably following the services at the chapel presided over by Father Bloombad, and you know, it's nighttime the night before, and it's been windy, but freezing at night, but in the now heart of fall, that's quite good for Northern Albion. So the weather has been very favorable for some time. And you wake up the next morning on the 9th of Deidre Fomhar, and I will put you right outside the gate, unless you want to do something inside the peninsula. And
I love this map.
oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Here's to Kayden. He was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll describe what you see here. The distances are accurate. You can travel 30 miles on even road, or on even terrain. And this whole thing, we're talking 6 miles across, okay? So in terms of what you know, and then I'll describe what you see. First of all, visibility is good today, so you can essentially see all the way past out this bridge, which there are no developments here. This is that delta where you destroyed the stone idol. And this is the bridge that they built on that delta. Okay, so
this one here?
Yeah, so a bunch of farms have sprouted up because the arable land is near that delta. And as such, there's you would have to, and you remember this from when you made expeditions, there's a couple of places where you have to go a long ways if you're trying to cross that water if you don't take it, you know. So that bridge serves as a direct route that's safe east to west to get to West Albion. And so anyways, from where you are, you can see kind of 5 major points of interest. And then there's one that you can't see from where you are, but I'll point it out because you know it's there. So the first thing is, this is what I've been calling the peninsula. And, you know, as petty warlords go, it's the best thing. It's the best show in town, for sure. You've got a wooden orphanage, 2 barracks, a chapel, a mercenary lodge, basically 2 taverns, 2 stables. You know, you've got all this stuff. You've got people selling arrows and artisans and craftsmen and blacksmiths. So this is gone from being a little riverside just thing jutting out in the water with a single ferry and a tavern to becoming a village of several, probably 100 people. And it's spilled over in this rocky isthmus over onto the main land where you've built a second palisade. Life here is what you know it as, and this is what you're used to. Everyone in here is someone who fled the Forest of Hope in the last season, and you took them in, and you're heroes to them, and there's not a person there that doesn't know your name. And they're also kind of religious zealots. Kind of is probably generous. They are religious zealots. Like, they would march into the mouth of doom and run screaming into it and fight and die for you if you asked them to.
Emphasis on the die in there.
Yeah, and many of them have.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And early on last season, you had this battle where you defended the gates as well.
Yep.
And fought back, raiding warbands. So now you have these 2 palisades, but that's the extent to the development there. And then there are these 2 major kind of growths for miles here. This is actually pretty accurate. If I draw it, this goes for just about a mile, okay, out to the water. And then this, what I'm calling this waif, goes all along the riverfront here for like 3 miles. And they are, this is not a developed road. So just to be clear, this is just like a muddy, trodden footpath that essentially has become a road via use alone, but it's not developed. But there are these 2 major things, I'll call them districts, but they are not connected to what's beyond this wall. This wall is well guarded, and who comes and goes, I mean, is subject to the inspection of Father Bloombad's Detect Evil spell, which you once told me months ago you would do every single time that people come and go into this place. And so I've taken that into account. Many have been turned away on just such grounds, that their hearts have been searched. And anyways, but they do come in and do business. So what I mean is these groups here, they're a little bit more removed from what you're used to, okay? The waif are what was this fishing colony. It has since extended, and this is how most people here get food now. And it's where you get food, because they sell you the fish. And then the other thing is, these people here this is almost like a second Zelkor's ferry that's starting to grow here.
A peninsula.
Yeah, and you can see a little docks and a 2-story building out on the water. Okay, nice. So I want to point out, so here's the peninsula. This is what is Kayden's Rest proper. There's the waif. There's this area here to the north. And then I'll point out a couple other things. In the distance, on the hillside, you see what you would know would be the stone mines and quarries, where they're digging into these mountains and taking what stone and things they can and bringing them back. There are not a lot of beasts of burden moving about. So, but ever since last season, they've been trying to do that because it's been in demand. They also cut wood here. And then lastly, there's these farms that have sprouted up. Now, there are miles between this. But all of the people that live here are people that have been forced here in the last 2 years. So they're all displaced people. But the people that have come here came from the west. That means that they're not people that came from the Forest of Hope, and you don't know what's here, and you don't know who runs this place. And last time you came here, there was somebody asking for a toll. Lastly, the only other thing that is sort of like a settlement that you know in the area is you do know further down to the south that there's a wood camp. A woodcutting camp about 6 miles away. And the last thing I'll say is as soon as you leave the gate, Monacan points to the north and he says, "That's Krogville."
Broadville?
Krogville. My friends run
G?
that place.
Is that where my gold went?
Good portion of it. There's a investment opportunity.
What manner of industry do they engage in up there?
They worship a hero they call Krogon. His
Oh, that guy!
his gang members. It's his gang members, his gang bosses. They run the place. They're okay. At least they're not ill-willed. But
All right. In other words, we shouldn't take our horses over there and bash people in the skull.
No. I suspect that would work out poorly for us.
well,
I remember Krogon is fiendishly lucky. I mean, I do. Obviously, Algar doesn't.
Rotocon on the riverfront. Rotocon runs quite a place. It's called Riverside Rounds. They do. They've got meat that they get from places that. And he looks back at the ranger. Well, only some people would eat if they knew where it came from, I guess. But they don't know where it comes from. There's plenty of meat that they sell there, and they cook it on the riverside. They've got pit fights, gambling, and they sell strange elixirs there. A lot of the workers that work out west come to and from. They spend their money here, blow it all, go back and work again. And
It's the cycle of life.
and then there's Malar. He keeps housing for a lot of the workers that came in from the west. So there's some outsiders that live among there.
But you're
Should stop
saying
by there, but perhaps not immediately. After all, they're quite close to home.
I mean, if they're friends of yours, then it wouldn't hurt to stop by, would it? I mean,
Sure,
It's
of
true.
course.
Hardly out of the way.
I can only speak for what I know of those two. As long as you're spending money and you don't cause too much of a problem, I mean, I think that they would they'd welcome the money. And then he looks over, looks back at the mercenaries, and he says, "Not sure what might happen if they all find out about the Riverside Rounds, but maybe it'd be a good thing. I don't know. Maybe they need to blow off some steam."
We probably have a lot more hungry mercenaries.
okay, I think maybe I haven't done this yet. But okay, I suggest that we maybe the first thing is just to ride up and down the river, or just do a round and just
North
let
to
people know
south.
we are sure.
Yeah, we might as well start there with our friends.
Before we do, I think I've been trying to impart this to the mercenaries for a while now, over like in the intervening time between our adventures. But I go back and I remind them. I think who I've picked is probably people who are the most not only loyal but also level-headed. And I remind them once again. I said, now you remember, we're out here to show a presence as people who are keepers of the peace, who follow orders. If we do see something, you wait until we make a call on what to do. We're not out here to, I mean, we pay you good money, but we're not out here to be drinking or to be, I don't expect you to show up tomorrow morning, which is right now, drunk. I expect you to be well rested, and we're going to represent ourselves well out there. And so I remind them of that. Like, we're going to, march in formation when we can, and we're gonna just keep an eye out. And if something needs to be done, we'll let you know.
They are mostly silent except for Sion. I found his name, Sion, who just recently turned 19 years of age. And Sion,
Right.
he says, "We're hounds, sir."
That you are. Thank you, Sion.
Okay.
Do
But
me
to the
proud.
north, we've got the Riverside Rounds, the den of vice and moderation. To the south, we've got what essentially is a very large, extended rural area, ending in a spot of extractive industry. And to the to the west, we have what is effectively a small, independent village sprouting up in our lee, in our shadow. Not so much under our authority as just in a spot that can only exist because we're here. All of these seem like good places to start. When you said to ride up and down the river, did you mean to go south along the Reeve, or north, or start north?
Maybe we should go south first and then end the day in the friendly zone with the the gambling and the wine.
Yeah, that sounds practical.
And we can
Like
attend to
now
the perhaps
1776.
attend to the farmlands at a later time, perhaps.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
Sure.
This is not one of the advantages of working close to home is that this doesn't have to be a singular expedition. We can take a day off and come back tomorrow.
Right.
So
Okay.
yes, with barring objections, let's go south first.
Very well. It's only a couple of miles away. It takes no time at all to get there. It's probably 30 minutes or something like that. I'll describe what you see here. As you exit the gates of the peninsula, turn left along the footpaths, you see some of the shanties and mud huts and some of the slowly being built and developed, the mud and daub houses mixed with wood that's sprouting up here on the outside of the wall. Some of the nicer houses that seem to have wood you see along near the wall, the palisade of Kayden's Rest, and that alley that you spoke to the old crone in. As you continue down the footpath, there are all sorts of fishing colonies where people have set up racks and they're drying out fish, and they're essentially bringing in all the food that feeds all these people. It has survived on river fish for some time. The fish are quite large here when they're caught. And as you ride along, you can also see places where people are also trying to subsist and support this colony. You see gong farming going on.
What is that? That's
What?
always in DCC, but I don't know what the hell that means.
Gong farming is
shit
harvesting
farmers.
human excrement.
Yeah, there's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Got it.
a necessary
Makes
component
sense.
of
Yeah.
recycling.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
much
got
more
it.
relevant to a highly what's the word I'm looking for? An agricultural industry.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also it's useful for certain forms of chemical treatment, which don't come up much in our modern day.
That all happens
It's still
in
gross
character.
though, and yeah.
There's chickens and pigs and things like that running around, running loose. Kids here playing in the crap. And you see along the long stretch of this that there is, apart from these shanties and the early development of what would be a subsistence farms, that could maybe hopefully someday grow into little hamlets. You do see, after about a mile and a half along the quay, an intersection of a road. Not really a road, a well-trod footpath that goes off into the forest that you can see off in the distance in the hills. And here there is a market of sorts. There are actual stalls, a wharf that's not very far from the waterfront that connects to places where people have set up stalls, and stacks of fish. It seems people have brought some order to this to actually sell a bunch of this fish and come and go and be able to ship the fish out. Among other things, and other things that are brought in here to be sold from probably elsewhere at this point. You also see actually, this would have been back up here, so I apologize. My notes are not in order. Among these huts, there are tons of people lined up along the quay. As soon as they see you, they just swarm to you like insects, and they bow before your horses, and they're like, "Please, heroes of Kayden's Rest, please, please help me. I have so many children to feed. We came here to," and it's just this clamor of desperate, just begging, and there's just tons of them. And you see Monacan ride up, separate off from you, and bend over from his horse and whisper to one, and then like rejoin you all. And just barely. He comes back up, trots back up. He says, "I think until at least we get down to the Red Quay, we should be okay."
What will happen then?
I'm not sure, but my birds tell me that weather should be fine today.
Ah, good.
In what sort? Why wouldn't the weather be fine? What sort of? Are there certain people that come around or something, Monacan?
Yeah, of course. You have no castle. You have no patrols. You have no army. People come in and take whatever they want all the time.
Do you know where these people? Do you know where these people come from?
He smiles. He looks out over all the unwashed masses of people that alternate probably between begging and stealing, and he's like, "Take your pick."
Where don't they come from?
So the people here,
There's a short demand for labor, it seems.
yes, there's no sort of organized protection racket.
Only the merchants that come and go.
Okay, so then we need to find a strong man and be stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a place like this. I feel so guilty right now, everyone. Like, here I am behind those walls, and I look at some of these children running around with their bare feet in the shit, and that was me. And I'm not doing anything for these people right now.
Well, these people would not be able to survive here, even to this extent, if not for the labor which you have contributed to the protection of this realm. If you feel guilty, so be it. You have more labor to do, don't we all? We'll see what we can do for them as we continue. But we must not allow ourselves to fall in love with each leaf of the tree, for it is the health of the tree as a whole with which we must be concerned.
Well, I wish I could do more. I remember being a kid and watching people like us ride by on horses and wishing we had a little more sometimes.
To your credit, sir.
Perhaps we could set up some sort of soup kitchen or some such out in these parts.
Well, there is, if you're looking for anybody that would run things around here, at this point, like I said, you've probably continued to travel on talking about it. You can see this cluster of buildings, this trail that goes off to the forest, and you've got this wharf. And there are mud and daub and wood buildings here. There's a couple of them. He points to one of them. He says, "That's the Rusty Mutt. Those thugs, they run the wharf. Help the merchants haul fish in and out. That's as much as there is order around this place. But it's mostly to help merchant caravans come and go. Give them a place to eat and sleep."
And so these thugs that you mentioned, they take what they like, I imagine? Are they amongst those that take what they like when they like?
He looks off to the left from his horse. He's like, I don't know that there's much to take. But,
It's true.
But yeah, sure enough, if they think that a merchant caravan comes around and doesn't have decent protection, they'll make it theirs. They protect it.
And what about this red quay you mentioned?
Yeah, and he points out to the wharf. He says, that's the market. That's after they finish the fishing. They'll haul that in past the mutt and put it out with the vendors. And merchants come by and pick it up, and that's how you have food at the Bristleback Inn.
I remember my predecessor was more active to the south, and as I understand it, he did a lot of labor in the fishing villages. It's a shame he passed away. I'm sure he'd have all sorts of useful information to share here.
Algar, you can roll a d6.
Oh, right, I can use that on the computer. 3.
3. Okay. Something that Algar would recognize, which we never got to resolve. I apologize, I haven't gotten to it. But based on our discussion, you would recognize both the smell and sight from one of the huts of strange odors like that occurs in a certain hut on the edge of the peninsula.
I will make a note of that.
Well, what's everybody thinking so far? I mean, continue to the Red Quay and then the red, whatever it was called, the Red Pier or something, and then
The
Red Quay, yes. I think they'd appreciate us doing a bit of commerce, and frankly, I could do with fresh fish. Normally, by the time it makes it to the peninsula, it's been quite salted.
Sure, let's buy some fresh fish and just talk with everybody.
Okay.
I lean over to Manak and, to be quite frank with you, my friend, my plan is to find the strongest one and, well, make friends with him.
Well, someone can certainly benefit from your friendship. Let's see here. Whether they like it or not, I guess.
Oh, they'll like it just fine.
I, passing by and stuff like that, I make inquiries about how the conditions are sanitary-wise. I don't mean like, like Princey, all city-wise. I mean like, are they getting good water? Is there any like any rampant disease among the adults or children and that type of thing?
Yeah.
Anything that needs to be looked at?
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's obvious that it's really bad. It's a human pile. There's tons of sick people. There are huts just for dying people. Now,
and like they don't have a place to put their excrement aside from the river, which is also where they get their water. And like, there's a lot of water in the river, but
yeah, what's worse is that I mean, Algar's right. This is better than the Forest of Hope. But yeah, they definitely could stand with lots of. There's lots of things that are needed here, but anyways, you travel on until you get to this to the Red Quay.
Actually, that's probably one of the main things the Gog farmers do is carry the excrement farther downstream before it's disposed of. That probably does a lot to help the livability of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What are those trenches called? Trenches you poop in. I can't remember what they're called.
A latrine?
Latrine?
Yeah, maybe it's just the latrine.
A shithole?
Yeah, it's basically latrine is all I've ever heard it called.
They called it boreholes in World War II.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are means of dealing with these things, and I'm sure the locals here are none of these people are any less intelligent than us, and they have far more reason to think hard about these problems than we do. I'm sure they're coming up with solutions we can't.
Yet there's disease and dying people left and right, so maybe they're not
unfortunately,
very...
that is the human.
Well, then they also may not be well versed in the idea of excrement and disease. So a lot of the the early cultures are like that. I'm now talking as a person versus a character.
Okay, everyone here is moving hand carts. There are no beasts of burden. However, as you get closer to this intersection, you see a mule tied up to this building that actually has wooden structure to it, along with the mud and daub. And you hear talking inside. There are vendors out here that do have stacks of fish. They also have spices and hardy grains and millets, and you also see that there's this. I think this is clear to everyone now that there is this hut that has an odorous smoke rising from it off by itself. And there are three robed figures that are coming from that hut, assisting. Two of the robed figures are assisting one of the robed figures. I think that's what you see here. Yeah. You can see that there are people fishing. That is the main duty of the place, to try to feed this marketplace.
Why don't we ride over to those robed figures and see if they need any help? Might figure out what they're all about.
Before we do, I informed the group that my predecessor left me journals encoded in the secret language of the Rangers, which summarize some of his dealings in this area. And he mentioned that there was a community of occultists who were not no significant power, but of occultists who were to the south here, and I believe those are them.
Mm.
So those are people we should get to know, as we ourselves dabble in the peculiar.
What's happening? I'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Actually, while he's running away, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Go ahead and save some time.
That's okay. We'll just keep rolling, just so you all can, go through as much as you can. What's that?
Why don't we roll up to these robed figures then?
Okay, yeah, you ride up to the robed figures, and as soon as you do, they have this shocked expression on their face. And Father Bloombad, you recognize them. They're three acolytes from the temple. They are kind of helping one of the acolytes along, and they just came from that hut, and they look and they say, Father Bloombad, it's so good to see you, and the Hounds. Oh, what an honor to see you all.
Yes, light be with you.
And with you. And their voice is shaky.
What transpires here?
Oh, these poor people. We had hoped to give alms, Father, and to give the light's blessing to them and bring services from the temple out to them.
Indeed.
Sorry, go ahead.
Indeed.
What is this building that they're coming from?
It's a hut that looks really strange, earthy, weird smells coming from it, coming from a chimney, and the person that they were helping along is coughing and shaking.
Well, I'll give alms too. I mean, that's why we're out here, and I hop off the horse with Darkspear and just march towards this hut.
Okay, you go to the hut, and
I'll join them.
All right, you're all going to the hut. The acolytes shuffle off quickly.
I give them all a look. Like I'm like trying to remember their faces, and I want them to see that I'm looking at them. To see if they're in trouble or not.
Yeah. Okay, so you all go to the hut, and if you sort of knock on, like announce yourself, hail or something, you hear a voice inside that says, hail, please, come on in.
Just push open the door and crouch down and come into this space.
You see a man in, what is that, maybe just burlap and sandals, and he's working over a bench, and there's these robes and strange things drying and hanging from the walls, and several pots. There are mortars and pestles, some of them very large, and then a large iron pot that he has in the center. The smell coming from it is awful. He turns to you with a big smile on his face, and he says, "Ah, are you some of Fingon's men? Something ail you? Did you catch a disease up there and the rounds? Do you need help?"
Go ahead if one of you wants to speak.
The rounds, eh?
I return. I apologize for the
Perhaps
sudden escape.
perhaps we know what your acolyte friend was up to, Father Bloombad.
So, Richard, we some people were coming out of a hut, a strange-smelling hut down by the pier. They were acolytes of Bloombad's Priest of Light, and they were totally not happy to be seen, helping an ailing man coming out. And they said that they were here to give alms, and made an excuse, and then so we've just gone into that hut, and there's somebody in here who's got mortar and pestle and strange robes, and is offering cures and healing.
Oh, cool.
What were the other? I mean, we know some of those people that just walked out. I mean, were they here looking for healing as well?
Yes. One of them he had an ailment, shakes and a cough from something. I suppose it's something that comes seasonally here in the north. But I gave him something. He should be fine in a few days, I think.
I whispered to Bloombad, what would the Priest of Light be coming down here for? Right.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Well, I guess I got a bit of a itch. I don't know, the chafing from on the horse. I don't know if you have any kind of salve for that. I'll just suggest. So I wouldn't mind having something like that I could rub on the inside of my thighs at night. That would get away that chafing that I get. If you've got something like that.
Oh, yes. Some of Fingon's other men have had just this problem. They come on horseback and the horses and the long rides. They have this problem. Let me find something. I have an ointment for that. He shuffles around, digs through his stuff.
Sure. And do you know where we can find Fingon? I mean, he's an old friend. I just realized he lives here. It's fantastic.
You don't.
Where would I find him?
You don't work for Fingon.
No. I mean, we're from the Kayden's Rest, where my name's Flanagan. I'm what's above the captain? I don't know. I run the Hounds of the Pine. I don't know if you've heard of us.
Commander. Yeah, commander of the Hounds.
General.
I do like
Commander of the Hounds of the Pine. I don't know if you heard of us. We're just making rounds and making sure everything's okay, and wonder if there's anything you need down here.
Sorry,
Castellan.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, you're from that walled village to the north."
Yep. Wondering if there's anything you need. Anything that troubles you down here, or any support you can get.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy that you've come. My name is Douglas, and I came from the west and set up shop here. I'm an apothecary and herbalist, and I found much work here with these people, but there's so many things that we need. Do you have an army? Can you set up watch posts? You can tell that he seems like a bit of a. He's either a crazy person or maybe not a noble, but an artisan class of person who is out of sorts.
Right.
And fallen on hard times. Either that or he's crazy.
Well, that's just the thing. I think we need to get more patrols down here and have watch posts. I think both are great ideas.
Oh, that would be great. That would help with all the thieves. And with that, Monacan coughs.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. you trouble with thieves here. There's problems with that sort of thing, is there? With criminal elements? And I scratch behind my ear and I'm looking at Monacan.
What have they got to steal?
There's nothing that we could have. There's no law here, other than what's his name? Other than what Orlaith and his thugs, bring to the marketplace. I just barely get by myself, working with Orlaith. And
yes, let's go have a word with Orlaith, I think, shall we?
About that solve, it's just 3 copper pennies. He offers you a bag of a pig's bladder bag of a really nasty smelling stuff.
Oh yeah, this'll do it. Here's a silver. I give him a silver.
A silver. Oh, thank you, sir. And he takes it, and hides it away.
You're welcome. And do you know where Fingon is, and also with this other guy, Orlaith?
Orlaith.
Well, Orlaith, he's just in the rusty mutt there and he points outside the hut at the biggest building across from this intersection. As far as Fingon, I'm sorry, I thought that must be who you were. Some of his men come and go with the caravans that they guard, and it's how I make most of my living. But I've never met Fingon. I don't know who he is. Although they announce themselves as such, as Fingon's men.
Okay.
No. I'd say we're Kayden's men, if anyone's. Well, no.
Oh yeah, we are not Fingon's men, but we'll find out who they are. What was the name of that inn again? The Rusty
Mutt.
Rusty Mutt. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, and I've taken that into consideration. Patrolmen, watchtowers, and of course dealing with these thieves.
Since this is a fishing place and it's a Rusty Mutt, does it have a book or something for one of the paws? What's the thing with that?
It's a reasonable question.
Yeah.
Is there a sign, or does it just go by? Has it just simply accumulated the name by reputation?
There's definitely no sign. Yeah, and it's just this is a little bit up from a shack with huts that have been doubled up or tripled up.
That was up here, right?
It is right here. It's just here at this intersection, and they. It's definitely the biggest location in town. There's a mule tied up outside with some carts, and you can hear noise inside.
Well, let's barge in.
Magnus, may I have a short conversation with you?
By all means.
I mean, this may be a conversation for everybody first, but I mean, it sounds like there's a few people who you might want to make friends with. And speaking of friends, do you get the feeling that Monacan is maybe one of the people who's making trouble out here? I mean, the last thing I want is for us to be barging in on something with a bunch of hounds, and the person who we've got our knives up to their throat is our friend here. I'm just you know how I am, Magnus. I just tell it like it is, and I've got a bad feeling that Monacan is making money off of some of the things that are happening out here.
He's certainly entangled in the vice markets.
I'm sure he is.
All right.
But vice and labor are intertwined. Men who labor must find respite. Men who find respite must be given labor.
Well,
but
nonetheless, my desires are simple. All of these philosophical conversations are perhaps for another time. The key is get one of these men on our side, provide them with a little bit of capital, settle things down here a little bit, so the people aren't obviously suffering quite as much. It's embarrassing, frankly.
Yes,
it is.
It does make the town look bad nearby.
Well, sure it does. I don't know how it's making us look if we've got representative of a criminal element riding with us right now. I don't know what it's saying.
I look over. I'm quite sure my friend is more discreet than that.
I say nothing.
We enjoy a privileged perspective on his activities.
I look at Manakan and say, I assume people here don't recognize your face as being a problem for them?
No. If anything, I'm... How do I put this?
Well respected.
Benefactor.
Patron of the arts.
Yes.
Yes.
Economic driver.
Yes. As I thought as much.
Yes, I'm sure he gives money.
As you enter this, what is a... Actually, let me look this up, because this will sometimes have a good... This place looks like crap, so basically
Like
a shack, a combination of shacks stacked with huts, and then the really nice features, the main kind of, if there were sort of 3 shacks and then a hut thing, then you have like the main shack in the corner that kind of juts out, is made of wood, which makes it the nicest building in town. That being said, the tables here are just stuff that's been brought in. Things like barreling for what used to hold fishes. The floor is dirt. There are wooden cots and stuff that travelers sleep in. No doubt straw placed down below them, infested with bugs. Nothing here is going to be above a silver piece. There are plenty of people here, including some travelers and merchants, but everything is brought to a grinding halt as someone in the nicest outfit that you're not in rides. You hear them clop up outside, and they have a bunch of guards with them, and he comes in. He's a portly man, and he unrolls a piece of paper, and you have caught this man on one of his rounds for his job. He's a crier, and he's been and you can see that as he unrolls a paper, and he says, hear ye, be it known in these lands that Lord Governor Meriadoc of Corgay has fallen, and the kingdom of Eastreach is no more. The Lord Governor's men have departed those lands to the Midderlands, and each man here and woman, each to their own, by their own means, is a free man, and no longer under the lands of the Lord Governor.
Holy,
That's pretty big.
this is a transformative event.
He just rolls it back up like this is his job, and he's getting ready to like roll on to the next place he finds a bunch of people.
What happened? Excuse me, pardon.
He's getting ready to go out the door. He's like, hello there. Are you a member of a local county? Is there a count here? Who should I speak to, in fact?
We represent a local council.
A council? What is that? Well, anyways.
Council of Kayden's Rest. We run the town. We run the town around here. As far as we're concerned, we never were under Meriadoc anyways.
Oh, I see.
I say that as loud as I can. But I mean, it would be nice to know what happened. I try to say that as loudly as I can so people inside this place know who we are. You're
making a scene, and you're kind of like establishing that at the same time. And you said that as far as you're concerned, you're not under the Lord Meriadoc. Did you say that? Okay, mm-hmm. He says he's offended, and he's like, well, had you said that in the lordship's days, you would have been hung, sir. But it just so happens that that's no longer possible. So I suppose there's nothing I can say to that. I've been paid by some of the former Lord Governor's men. They have paid me to travel about the lands and announce this. And that if anyone is able-bodied, that if they could find them in the Middlelands, they will pay bounties for the defeat and heads of the horrible barbarians from across the sea that came and ended the livelihoods of so many.
Oh, including
Oh,
Lord
so-
Merrydock.
No, he
yes.
fled. Oh, he was killed. That's right. And these were the heathens of across the Icelands, right?
The Northlanders?
Oh, I've heard terrible tales myself. I wasn't there at with the fall of Eastreach, but I've heard that they are like beasts. They do things that men do not do.
Well, I'm glad we have what we have here then. And we've always kept to ourselves and kept the people safe. Well,
Like kind of
news.
as an aside, I go, and how far is? I go over to Algar. And how far is East Reach from here again?
I tell him, but out of character, I don't actually know offhand.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, if you were to travel, I mean, hypothetically, like if you were to travel on the map area that we have, which is like, what is it, 120 miles north to south? Mm-hmm. If you reach the bottom, then you'll reach the edge of what would be Eastreach. I put there's a note about it here that I posted, because I think somebody sent spies or something, or somebody asked, or something happened like that at one point.
So we're not talking more than 200 miles away.
No.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty close. Those barbarians.
Yeah. When was this? This is interesting. This was back in February of this year. This is common knowledge.
Isn't Krogon one of those?
Yeah, sort of. Maybe even further away for him. But anyways, let's see. The Great Estuary, which is just to the south, which is sort of another big, I don't know what to call these things, but, you know, if you look at Scotland, there are these, like, huge fjords, like these things where the land is cut out and then goes back. So there's this estuary, and then south of there is what they call the half-pickled marshes, which is this big swampland. And then immediately the next area is a barony called Eastgate and Amrin. And those are the two cities. And then the capital of that land used to be Corgay, which is what they had designated the place, which would have been like the castle. And apparently that has fallen. And all of those lands to these barbarians.
Gosh.
Were they coming by sea or over land mostly? I asked this guy.
Oh, by sea.
By sea, right. Sure.
We already have terrible problems towards our coast.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, it does.
If they wish to go dash themselves against the rocks of the nonsense over of our coast, I'm welcome them to try.
Exactly.
He looks around to all your mud huts here on the river, and he's like, "Yes, well, I'm sure that I'm sure you will fare well against them."
Yes.
I laugh heartily.
What you see is only the beginning of a strong community of hard workers. Come a year, this place will be unrecognizable.
Come 5 years, they might be interested in pillaging us. Right now, probably not so much.
True, we have very little to steal.
It's more of a race on how much we can prepare before we're interesting enough for them to come after us.
So my friend, you've got people paint. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that they're going to have to come through the Forest of Hope to get to us, right?
Yeah. Ugh. Good luck, guys. Have fun.
So you said there's people who got putting out money for the heads of these people, the Lord Governors. I'm just wondering who's taken the place of this. Everyone's on their own, but usually someone steps in inevitably. Do they not? Is there some lords who are taking power back to the east?
I am delighted to inform you that you are a free man, and you're no longer under his lordship. And these lands are free lands.
All right.
And out of character, that's like a really bad thing, because it basically means that like anybody can just come in here and do whatever they want.
We're now outlaws. Default.
Yeah.
Oops. Protected by no one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm wondering. Like, he was paid by some lords, and I'm thinking that they might be the next ones to roll in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you can see, you got a long road to get back out of here, and it's not. There's a reason why the Lord's men never came here, except for once, and never collected any taxes. Never will.
How did you even get here?
Oh, by the coast road.
Oh yes.
Oh
yeah, I mean, well, that's some trip.
Wow.
Yes, it has been a tremendous trip. I had to take a ship into the estuary from a river, and then from there we had to travel across a horrible swamp, and from there the roads there were terrible noises at night, awful, and even one night there were these things in the forest floor. We set the dry grass around us on fire and heard squelching noises like insects off in the darkness. It was horrifying.
Yeah, there are terrible things in those forests.
For that matter, what?
And your
oh, sir, go ahead.
and your guards, how are they? What are they part of the Lord's guard, or did you hire them yourself?
I was hired, actually. I am a.
Guards came with your hiring.
What's the word I'm looking for? I think of this word recently. A lawyer, but a lawyer that just does paperwork.
Barrister.
A barrister, thank you. Yeah, and he says, so I'm a literate man, a man of the quill, and so I was hired by these lords. They have traveled to the Midderlands to relatives, and to announce this to people here in these lands.
Very considerate of them.
Do his guards look like they're able-bodied fighting men?
Oh yeah, there's like a dozen of them. They look really tough.
And I asked him, where does he intend on going after this? Do you have a place to go to in mind? Because this is a very dangerous place to travel through. Do you have any more stops to do? What's going on with your mission? When does it end?
I feel inclined to offer him hospitality, in truth.
That's why I'm working my way to try and find out what his idea is, because I think we could use a man of his talents.
A guy who comes out of the wilderness and just walks all the way here along the frickin' coast road? That's amazing.
He dismisses the idea. He does give the impression that it was a terribly rough journey to get, at least.
I'm just reminding him it's a terribly rough journey to get back, and there's no odds you're gonna, there's no guarantees.
No. So he says that he intends to plan to continue to the west, but he says so. There's some sort of council. So you're reeves, is one of you a reeve or bailiff of this village? He looks out over the the waif just a couple miles away. There's the walls, on the peninsula and everything. He's like, who then is who should I speak to?
I would recommend I sort of look to Father Bloombad, see if he gives me a nod or shakes his head.
Yeah, it's all you.
I would recommend you consult with our spiritual leader, Father Bloombad of the Light.
Are you wearing your armor?
Oh yes, I am.
Do you have your holy symbol displayed?
Yeah, prominently.
He bows to you. He's like, a knight. It is a delight to meet you. I regret to tell you, sir, by what name do you go? He thinks you're a crusader, some kind of holy order.
Yeah.
It's approximately true.
Yeah. I am Father Bloombad.
Father Bloombad. Well, I regret to tell you that your mission here is ended. And it would probably be best if you returned to whatever what
liege lord.
What would I wouldn't even call it lord. What's the land? A bishopric? Not a diocese, but like a whatever
parish.
Your
yeah.
Anton. I don't know.
Yeah.
Religious territory.
Good,
it could be.
Good, sir. I answer only the light.
Ah, very well. He thinks it's very strange, but he doesn't know anything about that sort of stuff. So,
Also, I would like to go out and talk to his men.
okay, yeah, you go out and they nod. They're like Lord. They assume that you're a knight because you're wearing armor and religious symbology on you. So.
So I'm going to say, how much do you men make a month?
I walk along just behind Father Bloombad.
Okay. They say, for this entire job, we'll get paid several hundred gold. It's a long journey.
And what is your salary awaiting you when you get home?
All told, probably 1,000 gold, enough to settle in other lands. We have lost our homes.
Huh. Well, that's out of my price range.
Yeah, these are like really powerful fighters, though. These are like mercenaries. They're probably like level 5 to 8, like fighters.
That's cool. Magnus, I'm just thinking this person's heading back out west, and there's these merchant lords. Is it a good or maybe a good idea or a bad idea to think this person? There's a opportunity to send a message if we want to pay this person. Possibly, maybe it's better just to stay quiet. I don't know.
I think I prefer to stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
God. Well, all right. This the end of your mission. I asked Father Bloombad, what does he mean by that? That your mission's over? Would that be because the Lord has died, or something else?
Yeah, I never answered to that, Lord. I only answered to the light.
Well, I'll go ask this guy. What do you mean his mission is ended?
Oh, friend, I mean nothing by it. I assumed that he was a member of some religious order and was here answering to a Lord Castellan or a master of an order or a monastery or fortress or something. But such fortresses are gone. There's nothing left. They razed everything. Killed everyone, drove them off, made it their own lands.
Miserable.
Are they settling there to farm?
As I understand it, yes, they intend to settle. They've begun building, and they built their own defenses and fortifications. We've been experiencing raids in the province for the past several years, but this is different.
Oh, well, we might all be expecting refugees here again, everyone. This area might be growing real quick.
Better find work to do.
Well, yeah, lots of work to be done. Well, thank you for that news. I mean, I'm just going to head into the inn, I suppose. Well, I guess, you're the caller, Richard.
No, yeah, let's go in.
Okay,
Let's this is going to change everything. And it's going to, you're right, it's going to bring in a lot more immigration. It's going to reduce the sense of safety that everyone here has to the degree that they have one. And there's also the very real possibility that we'll get invaded by a ravening bunch of invaders who think it's really funny and cool to kill people and take their stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, we're not in the best position to talk crap about that, given our modus operandi, but,
Yeah.
normally we don't do it on humans.
We're pretty small and inaccessible. That's the advantage.
Yeah.
Is that, why bother? There's probably all kinds of places like us, but...
Yeah, we're not, really a central repository of...
However, if refugees...
Most of our the valuable gold and stuff that we've acquired has been gradually exchanged for stuff from the south.
Yeah, the
to
problem
some degree,
is,
right?
if we had access to the ocean on an easy access ocean, which we have a river, that's a problem because these people love to go up rivers.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have to go through the forest and stuff like that. They're going to go up a river.
Yes, true.
If I'm right about there being a river that goes down to the south, so you know they're going to explore all the rivers. So we're going to have to think about that. We're going to have problems with that.
The
Yeah.
river's
That's
not
another day.
completely safe, but we'll deal with that.
This all just happened as you entered here, so you're sort of at the threshold. If you look into the tavern, you can see that there is obviously someone here tending a bar, and a kind of wide, heavy-set, middle-aged, balding man, and then there are another two robed figures, two acolytes that are sitting, the kind of brown Franciscan robes, sitting and talking to people at a table made of objects brought in here, and then like, you know, an upturned barrel, and then, you know, just something's put on that, and then you can see that there are some armed thugs in here. Some people that clearly they're travelers. This is a very poor place. The acolytes are probably the richest looking people in here and cleanest.
I think that's us. I think we're the richest and cleanest looking people in here.
Of course. No, you know, not even. I mean, there's not even a comparison.
Okay, yeah, true. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's how often do I get to be the cleanest guy in a room? It's a novel experience. Normally, I scrumble in straight off the road, covered with dust.
So I just march in and I say, "Oh, look, we're looking for Orly."
He calls out from behind the bar. He's like, "I'm Orlaith. What you need?"
Oh, I'd like to have a chat with you if you don't mind.
Come on over and do it.
I'll head up to the bar. Well, just thought we'd extend greetings. My name's Flanagan. This is Magnus, Father Bloombad, Alaric. I shouldn't be the one talking. And Algar, we're represented the council of Kayden's Rest.
Hi.
Up past the walls there.
Kayden's
Ride by sometime.
Is that what they're calling Zelkors now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, indeed it is.
All right. Well,
we running around, just starting to make rounds. It's been too long since we've done so, and well, I was just wondering how things are going and if there's anything you need down here.
Well, he looks down at the table, and he waits just expectantly. He just glares at you.
Well, I take it you need nothing then. You got it all under control, do you?
Look, if there's something you want to talk about, we sell food and drink here.
Is there anything you want to talk about with this man?
Yeah, I'd like to cast Charm Person on him.
Okay.
Is that just? Do we have to go? Do we have to like?
Boy, there's like
work?
no dinner first or anything.
No.
I feel like he was probably casting it while we were having that really awkward conversation with him.
I guess I'm wondering about like the VSM components and stuff. Do we see is like halabaloo or how does that?
No.
Yeah.
It looks like he made a save.
Yeah, but usually, what has happened in the past is Magnus will say something in a very insistent way. Look at the person. So what do you say, Magnus?
My friend, we really were here exactly for that, to get to know you, to make friends, to develop an understanding with each other.
He leans forward. At first, you all can tell that Magnus is doing his thing, and this guy looks mesmerized, and then he leans over, and Magnus, you can smell, he's missing teeth. His whole mouth is just rot. You can smell this stuff coming out of his mouth, and he's like, I sell food and drink. And then he, ignores you all and goes back to, preparing food and drink for everybody else.
I look over at everyone and say,
yeah, let's
go ahead.
I was just gonna say we should buy some, maybe.
Yeah, I'm all for buying some food and drink.
I bought the fish. I could stand to have a drink.
I normally prefer my drinking water, but not in this place. I'll drink some ale.
Yeah, let's sit down and have a meal and just see if anyone comes and goes. Totally asserting a presence here, right?
If
Can't let ourselves be paced off easily.
If you take like a seat somewhere, he calls like a serving girl that he has. He's like, Elis, go get him some food. And she comes over and she's like, what would you like, sir?
Anything potable, any drinkable water with alcohol in it will do fine.
I don't know what potable is, but we do
drinkable.
I have something like that.
Oh, wonderful. Good start.
I'm going to stick to some kind of strong ale because I don't trust what they consider drinkable. I'm also going to ask for whatever is good in the catch of the day.
Catch of the day? Well, we don't serve fish. We don't serve fish here, sir.
Oh, wait,
What
that
do you
excites
serve?
me. What do you serve?
She gets real excited and she's like, "I'm the cook, sir.
Oh, cool.
We have
Well, that's
we got
excellent news.
we sell our meats here. You see."
Oh, I
What
see.
sort of meats? What sort of meats is that?
Well, I can. I got barbecued meat. I can broil it for you. I got a saute. I can do a kebab. I can make it into a soup. I can pan it, fry it. I can deep fry it. And she goes on for like 30 minutes. She can cook this meat, and it's like her favorite thing in life.
Right. What meat is what we're asking? Do we have choices of types of meat?
I'll just surprise you, and she runs off excited.
Oh God!
It's
I just wanted to tell me what meat.
It's probably rat.
You said there's some thugs in
I
here.
hope it's
hey?
rat.
It's about 5 copper pennies for this whole arrangement, for the whole table.
So the I can't remember if we got the name of that person. The medicine person was
That was Douglas.
Douglas. Okay, said that Orlaith and his thugs. So I'm guessing Orlaith is kind of at least one ringleader around here.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there was thugs in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are they doing? Are they just kind of are they hanging out like they're kind of own the place, or?
Exactly. Yeah, they're hanging around, chatting, drinking, kind of. What's the word? Just
Being conspicuous.
lingering. Yeah, and it's clear this is the muscle that protects the marketplace and the tavern.
Right. You know these folks, Monacan? This Orlaith fellow?
Yeah, I think this is these are Orlaith's men. They keep the marketplace running, make it so the caravans can come in and buy up fish and put it to table up there in Kayden's Rest.
I'm sure they make a tidy profit doing so.
Well, doesn't hurt to ask. I'll get up and go walk over to their table.
As soon as you approach, and you're wearing armor and everything and a tabard, right?
Yeah.
They see you and they're like, "Whoa, you're one of Fingon's men, eh?"
No, we're not actually. I can't stand the man. Wouldn't mind meeting him.
Oh.
Mind if I draw up a chair?
Have we met Fingon?
And then another one's like, "Oh, you're one of Rodocon's men, then, eh?"
No, we're from the keep.
Oh, they're all just like they're entertained by this, and yeah.
Okay. So you all keep things safe around here, do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. So you're the keepers of the peace around the market down here.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that.
Do you have a name? You have a name for yourselves? You keep it. What do you call yourselves? Orlaith's men.
Oh, one of them's like, what about the Quayside Knights. And then the other one's like, no, we ain't knights, you moron. No, he's right. We should be, we should be Orlaith's men. I don't like that name, another one says. And then you start an argument between them about,
Right.
let me actually see.
The Orly boys.
Uh-oh.
I like Wayside.
They start
Wayside
pushing
with
each
myself.
other, and a fight breaks out. They
All right.
I'm gonna
Just-
walk up to Orlaith again and say, my friend, don't you think it would be nice if you got control of the situation and attempt again?
Yeah, oh, you can attempt it again because you have the spell. Yeah.
I have it memorized twice, and I
Okay,
have 2
I
more
get it.
scrolls of it.
Yeah.
He looks at you and he's like, I sell
Oh, crap.
food and drink. Or,
Oh my God! Look at that.
220s. This
There's-
man's untouchable.
or there's
Yeah.
a cot. And over there's a bucket. And then he goes back to work. And meanwhile, he just shakes his head at what's going on here. And somebody gets thrown into to Flanagan. And Flanagan, you can make a save.
God. 20 as well.
My
20,
God,
yeah.
20s everywhere.
You definitely dodge this guy getting thrown at you, and then this big guy. He smiles. He sees, Flanagan here, and with weapons and armor and stuff, and he comes over to try to smash you with the top part of what had served as a table.
This is one of these guys.
Yeah, the whole
You
place
don't
is,
wanna do that.
is fighting now. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find like.
I draw out Dark Spear and I just say, you don't want to do that, friend.
Oh shoot.
Oh.
Let's see here. I need something like.
I think we got to find this thing on and one of these other guys. Use one of your scrolls on one of those guys.
This
I
is
mean,
not
if
very
Fingon's
good.
people have heraldry or have tabards or something, like you gotta find them. Ooh, what's that?
He saved. So, okay. And he draws out a sword. And that makes him even more mad. And he's drunk and he's out of his mind. You can tell. And everybody can roll. Let's see, D6. So that would be Algar, right?
Rolling.
Are we gonna start killing people in this inn?
No,
just
we
hit
are
him, with the
not.
butt, hit him with the butt of the spear. Smack
Oh,
him in the-
I've got something for them.
We'll beat
I
them up.
regret to say that we do not win initiative.
I'd like to declare sleep.
All right. And then Father Bloombad, would you like to declare any spells?
No. No.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I see you got a nat 1 there. Nope, I got a 5. Okay, they're able to act first. So, the first thing that happens is 3 of them rush forward to try to fight with. This will all be subdual. Let's see. 19 and 17 hit, I assume, right?
Flanagan? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so they do. This will be about. This is 13 damage, and let's see. So you take 6 real damage and 6 subdual damage.
Okay.
It would be minus 12 hit points.
My God. Okay.
6 of that is subdual. What is that noise?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got the ambience. Okay. And that was their turn, and then you all can fight and cast a spell if you want.
Okay. I'll smash them with the butt of Dark Spear, the big guy. I'll just try to smash him right in the temple with the spear.
Is it
If I-
lethal
if I-
damage?
No.
Okay, roll to hit.
I hit armor class. If I have all bonuses I usually get, I hit armor class 16.
Armor class 16.
What are the hit dice?
3 hit dice.
Oh God. Okay.
3.
Yeah, they're the weaker ones around town.
The wussies.
Is that a 10? I'm sorry. What was your to hit roll? There was a.
I rolled hit armor class 16.
16 hits. Okay.
Okay. I do through 6 damage. I don't know how much of that was subdual, but
I think off the top of my head, I think half is subdual and then half is real damage. And so you.
That's definitely how it used to be in 1E. I have no idea here.
Okay, I'll mark that down. So like he effectively loses 6 hit points. If he goes to 0 but doesn't go over his real hit points, then he goes unconscious. And within like 2 or 3 hours, you get all your subdual hit points back.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's still up.
Okay.
Good guy.
Is anybody else doing anything?
I attempt to engage in empty-handed combat to assist you in, leveling them out. But I rolled like a 10, so I'm not hitting anything.
Okay, 10, and then Alaric.
I am going to try to hit him with the blunt side of the spear.
All right.
As a quarterstaff, as it were. And
bonk.
But not going for like a kill shot, but like a, subdual shot.
Destroy the groin.
Yeah, a groin shot would be good.
Nice.
Doink.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. I swapped to the PDF and now I'm back on the thing. Where the hell is my character sheet?
All right. I see Father Blue
I
gets
released
1
it.
damage. All right. Well, meanwhile, Magnus.
You said 3 hit dice?
Yes. 3 hit dice.
Wow. Okay, well, 2 of them fall asleep.
Okay.
I hit
well,
with a 17 and did 7 subdual. 7 divided by 2 subdual damage.
okay.
Gotta swap that now.
7. Okay, so. Yeah, that's right. And then this.
Roll is gonna jump in punching at one of the other guys. If there's somebody without a sword out.
Yeah, you can roll for Rollo and Monacan, and then 2 of them fall asleep, and they pass their morale check. So this whole place is just like a clamor of just fighting. It's just out of control.
Let's get out of here. I'd shout out.
Can't run. In any case, that's 8 subdual from Monacan.
All right. So what? 8? Is it 8 total damage? 8 total?
Well, 8 total, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, 2 of them should be asleep.
Conscious. Yep. I got 2 that are asleep. All right. So there are 4 left. And 2 are unconscious, or 3 of them are unconscious now. As you knock the big guy out, Monacan does, and then Rollo 13 does hit.
I have no idea damage. I'm assuming like 1d2 plus his strength or something like that.
Oh, he's punching?
Yeah, he's punching.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Oh, you don't get to add your strength bonus to damage unless you're a fighter. But so it's just 1
gotcha.
to 2.
Yeah, 1d. So it's 1 damage.
All right.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
No worries.
Now-
It's one of the few perks fighters get, so I
No, it's also
obviously
to
had
hit.
to memorize.
Yeah. So
Exactly. I forgot
yeah.
it's to hit. He doesn't have
So-
any to damage.
So the round is complete. Back to the top of the round. Back to the caller. What's the
Initiative
plan
for round
for
2 is a 6.
You're gonna keep
I
fighting?
believe that your plan was to, falling in, the plan was to back out of the room and
Well,
clear out some
I mean,
space.
we can all discuss it. I just think that like where this isn't like we're not here to beat up everybody in the place. If it's just devolved into chaos, unless we want to like prove something, why not just get out of here and let them all
We do kind
fight?
of want to prove something, I think. Like, we want to establish ourselves as forces to be reckoned with.
Well, I guess I wonder if the better people to spend our time doing this with is being on people.
How many
who,
guys are
like,
left?
There are 4.
4.
Like these guys are just defending. From what I know, they're just a bunch of guys who are just sort of helping keep. Maybe they're extracting money, whatever, but they're keeping the place safe around here. Fingon seems like the bigger fish to fry, but
You've convinced me. How do the rest of you guys feel? Any direction to falling back and letting this fracas resolve itself?
But didn't they swing on us?
I think they're swinging on a lot of people. I think we were just
Okay.
in the area.
Okay. I'm
Yeah, I
willing
don't
to
think
back
they're-
out.
yeah, I don't think they're
Yeah.
out for us in as like because we're representing something more. I think They're just.
Oh no, I know that. But if they swing on you and they actually
No. They were They were arguing about what the name of their group was called because Flanagan was like, "What are you called?" And then several of them started arguing with each other, drunken over what they should be called.
Yeah, most of them probably aren't going to remember what this was about in the morning, or
I was going to
they
say,
started it.
I get that. What I meant by the difference is if they literally swung versus like, when he threw the guy in it and Flanagan stepped out of the way, that's cool because that's accidental, tavern brawl, that happens. But if one of them turned around to actually swing on one of them, like Flanagan, then it kind of means that we're backing out after we've been attacked. It's kind of like a little bit lower.
I don't get the impression that's the case.
Okay.
I got beat up on it. I mean, I got beat up, but I'd rather get out of here.
Well, you did pull a weapon out too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Father Bloombad and Magnus, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave. I mean,
okay.
If everybody else wants.
I suppose.
Alrighty, no problem. You do that.
We shall retreat. Yes. Or
You,
I suppose sidestep this unfurling brawl.
You leave the mud hut and sorry.
Oh shit! Do we have to? She's making our food. We haven't paid her yet.
How much money do you pay her?
We'll toss. We owed her 5 copper. We'll get her a silver. I'll swing back later once the brawl calms down.
Yeah, we'll go around back.
She's so sad. She's prepared. These are all the different types of roasted gigantic rat that she prepared. She prepared gigantic rat burgers.
Thank God it's rat. Oh,
gigantic rat with potato. Gigantic rat salad. Gigantic rat stew.
Don't worry. I'll be back for the rat. I will come back and I will sample her rat cooking.
For a silver piece, she's just put this whole spread out for you all, and she's so sad. And the worst part is that the meat is actually really good, and she like gives it this floral quality through some of her own kind of brewing.
What was her name again? I want to remember this character.
Paisley.
Paisley the chef. She gets chef because she's good at this. Alrighty, that was wacky.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to suggest we just start riding back up to the north. We came all as far as we could to the south, and just start asking people where Fingon.
I think that's a fine plan. Let's be overt.
So, which direction do you all want to go?
North, I think. Unless Fingon is to the... We should probably check to make sure that Fingon isn't at the stone/forestry camp. But that doesn't seem likely, to be honest. Doesn't seem his style, but we should check anyway.
Sure.
Okay. So
you ride up.
You want to take the the trail to the west to the hills that you can see, where you see like the mines and quarries and logging camps and stuff.
How long do you think it would take? About an hour? There and back?
Let's take a look here. It would be 2.5 miles, so it would take you about 45 minutes to get there, or so 30 minutes, something.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, let's go for it.
All right. You travel for about 2 miles until you get there, and
my sympathies, Magnus, for the really untimely saving throws. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
What a waste.
I suspect that man may have uncanny resistance to your magic.
See if we can get Fingon for you.
That's the hope.
Let's see. You travel up here, the sounds of busy town stuff fade away. But you hear the chopping of trees and the grunting of people hauling carts and stuff back and forth as the people work these hills. And there are probably at least 2 or 3 dozen people up here. And as well, featured prominently in the hillside at the very top you see a desiccated head on a spike. Decorated around the bottom of it are many flowers and minor votive offerings, and even, and what would be especially expensive for these sorts poor people, even old candles that have been burned down. As soon as you approach this camp, a man sees you and runs out to you, drops his cart, and he's like, Are you the Hounds?
You're the first one to recognize us. Good job.
I'm Dougie. It's nice to meet you. Reaches up his nasty, filth-covered hand to the first person. He runs around, shakes everyone's hand.
Not mine.
I'm so happy to meet you. You've come out to, well, what have you come out here for?
Just see this. It's been high time for us to familiarize ourselves with the developments in the area. So people have engaged in so much virtuous industry and seen such good work. Want to see how things are going, to see what steps need to be taken to foster it further.
Now, this is probably, I'll say this is midday, because we're coming up about 45 minutes left in the game session, 40 minutes or so, and so, we'll say this is like, 1 p.m. or so, and he's like, I insist you all stay for supper. Please come and meet my family and stay. We'll take care of everything for the night. We're so happy to have you. I want to introduce you to my cousin. And he starts running ahead.
Well, hold on. We're actually, we got a certain amount of things we have to do today. It would be nice to have dinner with you, but is Fingon up here?
Fingon? Who's that?
Oh, he's go ahead.
He's what we would just call a local bigwig. He's a mover and shaker in the area. We've been trying to get an audience with him for forever and a day.
Oh no. Is he one of those monsters?
No, I don't think so. Just...
What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait.
Yeah,
What do you mean, monsters?
Well, I thought that's what you all did, is you fought beast men and horrible monsters and things.
Are there monsters up here?
No. And he takes off his hat. Not for over a year, Matt. Now, looks back at the shrine, the stick with the head on it.
Which saint is that?
That ain't no saint, sir. That was a great hero. Saved our people and then helped us get through the winter. And we're here thanks to you knights.
Flanagan gets off of his horse and goes and looks at this shrine. He's maybe the only person who was Alaric there in like the second or the first adventure we did, where somebody died and we buried them up on this hill.
No, that was the very previous adventure to me. I was the second one after that. I was the one after that.
Well before my time.
We left it there as a warning against the gnolls.
Yep, the gnolls. I remember them.
And so he looks over and picks over it. And does he recognize this as that place?
Mm-hmm. This is the top of the hillside where the grave is, and a desiccated head on a spike that's been here for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, I've been here a few times. I just wasn't here the night that it happened.
Right.
Whose head is that?
That's one of the gnolls.
Oh, okay. Still, okay, no.
They returned, killed all the gnolls, and left heads to be, markers there.
Flanagan bends down and just like looks at some of the stones, and he's like, I placed some of these stones. It was a long time ago.
Oh, I think I was there when we killed the gnolls. I just wasn't there.
He just sits there and kind of remembers it for a second, like he's sort of quietly just like looking back at it all and thinking about all the people who died. And he turns back to this guy and he says, man, this is a special place.
He's
a lot of people have died
with his hat off. Yeah.
Okay. I just clap him on the back and I say, I'm sure you're doing good things up here. And I reach into my pouch and I pull out a gold and I give it to him.
Hey. He like starts hyperventilating. And
You might want to give him smaller change, my friend.
and he's like, this will take care of us for months.
Well, I hope it does. I mean, you do what you can up here, okay? You keep this place well, and if something happens that's causing you concern, you come right in and you just say, I want to talk to Flanagan, and they should let you in.
He reaches his hand again. I don't know if I introduced him.
What was his name again?
His name's Dougie.
Dougie? Okay.
Yeah, Dougie.
There's Douglas and
You
Dougie.
never know what NPCs you sort of like catch on to, eh?
And
I'm gonna call him Doogie the Gravekeeper.
And he's
What
like a
monsters
miner.
were you referring to, Dougie?
he points to the head, and he's like, it's been months now since anyone's heard or seen anything like this, but maybe even more, a year or more. But my friends remember my cousin. He was down there on that river coast the last time they came through. Back when you all rallied and saved them, defeated the armies of darkness.
Friggin'
Well, go ahead.
raiding party of darkness, anyway.
Tell us about this Orlaith figure.
Oh yeah, do you know Orlaith?
Oh, well, not well, but some of the younger lads, they head down there sometimes, and if you ask me, I think that it's a place to get in trouble for those young lads. I'd rather prefer they not go down there, if you ask me.
Gathered a bit of that.
Well, it does seem
Food's
like
good,
trouble. Well, the day is sun's already reached its peak, and we've got some people to meet. But boy, it's been a pleasure to meet you up here.
Are you sure you can't stay for supper with us?
Not today. Perhaps perhaps later this week.
Looks very downcast and solemn, but
I'm
he
sorry,
says,
sir.
Yeah, no, but he's like, yes, you're right. I know that you have to protect all of these lands, and his hand stretches out to the horizon, way miles and miles away.
Tracts of land.
I can only tell my children about how I got to meet them this day.
I mean,
He says with a
You're-
toothless smile.
That's awesome.
we'll be back. Like, we will swing by.
Oh, I hope
Yeah,
so.
we will. Yeah.
It's just, we're very busy today.
Yeah, you can tell your children that they'll have a chance to meet us themselves.
That's amazing. I've told them stories about you. They often pretend here in these rocks to fight off monsters and things.
Good.
I'll take the time to critique their form.
Yeah.
Yes. The more capable hands, the better.
Yeah, we'll love to tell those stories to your children in person.
Incredible.
But for now, we really do have to go. So
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
we extract ourselves from a potentially open-ended conversation.
Yeah, you're moments away from like every single person in this logging camp and this mining camp coming down and surrounding you.
Right.
So,
Time to go.
all right.
We'll get them later.
Are you? This will be rough terrain, so it would actually take you. It's probably faster to follow the path, which is 10 miles, which would take you until early evening, a third of your day. But if you went this way, it would be longer, actually, because it's 4 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So is that the plan? Or wait, are you trying to get here over to this?
I was thinking of just seeing what the farm community thing looked like, what was going on there, just to see who's there and what it looks like. Not
And the surrounding lands, the out district. Like, we're talking about the area around the stone bridge, right? Bridgeville?
Yeah, I'm interested in finding out what the people look like there, what their conditions are and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I suspect they have a slightly more ample supply of water.
As we pass by that rusty bucket place or whatever, is it calm? Is it calmed down in there by then?
Yeah, it's calmed down already.
Oh man, I so want to take one more crack at it, guys.
gonna roll another 20, man.
He's gonna roll another 20. He's immune.
Also, he might beat you senseless the third time. Like,
Why do you see? Why do you want that guy so much and not Fingon or one of the bigger dudes?
Because they don't live here.
Fingon does.
Sure.
No, I don't. I think you're under a misapprehension there. I think
So far, we don't
all of these merchant lord guys, they live
elsewhere.
They live out west.
Yeah, I agree. I think that from that guy being there's no other power group there. Otherwise, he'd be under them in a second. So there's no question.
Well, again, so Fingon's men are here though, and they have uniforms, and so Fingon must have a super
representative.
Who seems like to be. I mean, they wear uniforms or something, so they seem to be bigger players here.
Right. But if
we have this big Rodokan, Malar, and Fingon.
But if he was to get, let's say, the representative of Fingon, all that would mean is the representative of Fingon would be in a lot of trouble. They really wouldn't.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
sure.
because they could be secretly sending this information.
Rodokan and Malar are like on Menakam's level. They're not on. Like from my understanding, they're not on. They're not lording it over anything. They're just
they're just like they've got businesses and routes where they collect money.
Yeah. People who we've heard have men there's 4, including Orlaith, and Orlaith seems to be very regional down to this one area here.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just curious. I'm not whatever you want to do it.
Well, I mean,
am I cutting out right now? By the way, my internet seems to be suddenly.
No, you've been pretty steady.
Okay.
Can I take one more crack at it, Ross, or are we bypassing?
If you really want to.
I would ask, because we only have about 20 minutes left, what is your intention? What are you trying to get from him?
Oh, what I want to get is a man I can trust who is a benevolent influence here, and who gives the credit back to, they stopped here. I was going to drop 100 gold in his hands after charming him, and have him start basically just distribute a little more largesse, to the locals, and
I'm gonna say no comma but, and it's not actually because you can't do it. It's just that there's a lot of stuff to do, and I actually want to.
Yeah.
But
it's fine. I'm not.
But the comma, but come back and do it sometime, and let's do it. Although I think I am gonna think about what happens when you. I don't know. When you. No, actually, in this game, no. In this game, you can try to charm as much as you want. Actually, if you have the spell, you can do it. That's what I'm gonna do in this game.
Okay.
But something happens, and this is why. So actually, you don't make it this far. You make it this far. You make it back to that town, and maybe you're planning, Magnus, to go back into the I don't even remember the name of it, the Rusty Mutt.
The Rusty Mutt. Yeah.
Maybe you're about to go in there, and I have to look at this
into it.
really quick. I have to look at this because I need to understand something, because something happens.
All lightning does 66 based on. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I thought I was speaking in a direct chat.
Let me try to make sure I understand this before I do this.
One of our cowboys blew himself up with black powder. It was a lot of fun in the game last weekend.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Boot health.
Yep. He there was a big fight going on, and he kind of shut it down because like a preacher guy and it all got ugly. He took his bag of black powder and he held it over the fire, and everyone calmed down real quick. But much later in the fight, he got wounded 3 times, with the third wound actually set off the black powder, and that took out the entire section he was in. Only killed one bad guy though, unfortunately, but he was out. But it's okay. That last wound killed him anyway, so it was just a great way to go. It's only a 5% chance he rolled it.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So,
Roll a 1 in 20 and it blows up.
all right. I'm changing the music. So to be something like this one again.
Excitement is about to happen.
As you're passing by this place, and then Magnus, you're considering going back into Rusty Mutt. That all happens in character. You're talking about, well, should we go back in there? Maybe we should try to, I can try to talk to him, establish presence here and everything. And then you see someone on horseback. This horse has a kind of barding, and not just barding, but I can't remember, whatever a tabard for a horse is called. But not just the barding, but like the fancy outfit, horse outfit.
Yeah.
And he's wearing layered dark robes and silks. And he is probably the most finely dressed man you have ever seen before. And he comes up to you and he says, "Hail, travelers."
And I nod my head and say, "Hail, traveler upon these roads." Why did I say that? I don't know, but anyway. Fellow traveler upon these roads, I guess, would be better.
Hello.
He looks back, to the waif and all the huts and everything, and he says, "This place has changed much in a few short seasons. Another cycle, it looks like."
I look to Bloombed.
Yeah, I'll cast Detect Evil.
This is one of the strongest. I always imagine the sensation of chaos being like, I think of Warhammer, like imagine the revulsion you have if you're exposed to like worms or something, and that feeling of invasiveness and alienness. But imagine like your whole being, like in Warhammer they'll say that your whole being feels anathema to chaos, like you're just like and humans have this. They have this urge to say this is not allowed to exist, and humans will go nuts and need to try to stop it. And that's your feeling, and you've never felt more strongly about a person before in that way.
I will give a knowing nod to my companions.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is Shay Khan. I myself am a traveler.
But you know this place.
Yes, I've traveled across all of these lands. But I see your armor. You're not from the West. Where are you from?
Who's he addressing?
All of you, that you're wearing armor and weapons and everything, and this armed group of people, yeah.
I speak aloud. I am Alaric of Kayden's Rest, formerly of, and I list some monastery on the mainland. I don't remember the name.
I remember that monastery well. They brew well there.
Oh, indeed. Many a fat, not abbot, the monk people, whatever they call them, brother. Many a fat brother enjoying the fruits of those labors.
He leans forward on his horse on his saddle. I'm not familiar with Kayden's Rest. Where is this?
Once it was known by the name of Zelkor's Ferry, but it was christened by the sacrifice of a bold hero.
A bold hero. Many bold heroes have been made in these lands. Or so I've heard. Zelkor's Ferry. Now that I do know.
Yes.
I see that
on the
it's
self-same one. Yes.
Built walls since last I visited.
How long has it been since you last visited?
Many ages. But the name Zelkor, I know this. I know it well.
Uh-oh.
But Well, I am just a traveler, and it doesn't seem like there's much succor for a traveler that could be found here. And he waves, toward this little tavern. Perhaps I should make back on the road and travel back from whence I came.
And whence is that?
Oh, I have traveled to and fro, up and down, left and right.
On what errand?
The pleasure. He leans forward and he sees that you're in robes and stuff, and he says, I sense in you someone who is learned. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
He's learned all right.
Do you enjoy books?
I am a collector, yes.
That is delightful. I would like to visit your collection someday. Is it here? And he points back to Kayden's Rest.
Perhaps.
Perhaps a visit, yes. Well, maybe I should present myself to the bailiff, or a reeve, looks back, whoever might be in charge of this place.
By happy accident, sir, you have already encountered him.
I have.
Magnus gives you an exasperated look.
Who is that?
It's Father Bloombad. He's a priest of the light.
Ah, a monastery then.
Of a sort.
I see. Very well. I always enjoyed, he looks at Father Bloombad, the candles, the smells, the wine. The lights from the church windows. There are many things I miss.
Yeah, I'm wondering if those lights in the church windows are flames licking up and down the walls. But anyway.
I hope that perhaps we could encounter one another again. Especially someone that collects books. I'm so very interested in that. Maybe I could come and visit Kayden's Rest, this monastery.
I'll pull out my mace and say, why don't we just encounter each other right now?
If you what?
Well, that's bold.
What? I was going to ask a question, but okay.
Magnus takes a step back.
I step back, but I'm ready to stand next to.
I was mid-asking if he knew a certain person, but never mind. That's pretty much of a conversation.
Yeah, this person is like smells demony or something.
Oh.
Like Bloombad, this is the most evil detection he's ever done. So
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me, there was one other
I
time.
didn't know that. He just felt skeezy.
It reminds me of a female magic user that visited the tavern one time, and we decided not to take her with us because, again, she was just teeming with chaos.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I was going to ask. Oh no, I better not say that. Because if I die,
I'm gonna have to look this up real quick. He looks at your mace and he simply looks at you and smiles. And he's like, I am so surprised to find this kind of hospitality in these lands.
Yes, your soul is so dark.
We have high standards at Kayden's Rest, you understand. Nothing personal.
I start bringing my horse somewhat close to Father Bloombad, sidestepping.
Yeah, I'll pull my spear out and just have it at my side.
Okay, let's see here.
My spear point is still aiming upwards.
Yeah, mine too. But I just as an aside to Bloombad, I'm like, you just follow your lead, Father.
I'm gonna nudge my horse a bit out of fireball range.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I'm clumping up because I'm not thinking straight.
I'm flanking.
Okay.
I have a black eye from the bar. I've got half
Oh,
my hit points.
have we met? Flanking?
He roll for initiative, please, and announce any spells.
I would like to announce. Oh,
Holy shit! What are we doing here? This seems scary.
Scroll of Charm Person.
All right.
I'll announce hold person.
Okay.
I'll announce too close to charge, so I guess I'll stab.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to stab if he's not doing anything. And we want initiative probably. So
Does he declare any spells?
yeah, I mean, if he's going to come at Magnus or Father Bloombat, I'll hit. But otherwise,
Let's see here. I just got to check a couple of things. Sorry that there's like a lot.
No worries. This is slightly deranged behavior from
All
us,
right.
but Dungeons and Dragons and Detective changed the calculus a bit.
Okay, so
It's
yeah,
funny.
you declare hold person and charm person scroll, and then I think I rolled for initiative. So you got a 6. I rolled a 2, so you're able to act first.
He would make his save at -2 because it's just a single person.
I'm not going to do anything because I think I'm just holding,
Yeah.
defending. So
Yeah, I wasn't told to attack, so I'm waiting to see
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Okay.
this is crazy.
So he should make his saves then.
Okay, so nobody's acting except saves. Let's
Yeah.
see here.
I can't ready an action to attack if he attacks, right? Or anything like that?
And that's kind of like what I'm doing.
Stuff.
Maybe I could just say I move so I'm standing in front of the spellcasters would be the only thing I'm doing. Which means I might take a fireball, I don't know, but with 12 hit points left.
Or I think we're close enough to him to get himself.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
Wait,
Nope.
you have 12 hit points left?
Yeah, I got beat up.
It's a vicious bar
You've got to
fight.
add 6 more because it's been
Oh.
about
Yeah,
an hour.
you get your
So
subdual
Gil's
back.
recovered.
Nothing happens. And it is his turn. And
Nothing happens.
nothing happens.
Not a person. Or else he rolled very high on the screen.
Magnus, make a save, please, at -2.
Oh shit.
Oh boy!
-2.
Yes, does an 11 pass your save?
Versus
Yes.
spells assumed.
Yes.
How close?
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose.
Yep.
You try to say this stuff from a scroll. You take the scroll out, and you start hearing a prayer from Father Bloombat, and then your mind, all of a sudden, it's like something's in your mind, and you have this moment. I'm actually going to move there, and you're in the dungeon, and you're crawling along. You've got your lantern out, that you usually carry, and you've got Monacan by your side and everything. And everybody's stopped, but then you see, and everything's quiet and everything's still. No one's moving or talking, except this very well-dressed person is standing next to you, and he says, "Ah, I see that you have not made it very far. Those others, they made it a lot farther than you did. Maybe we'll see each other again, because like this starts to like kind of peel away, as he can see that this is failing,
Okay.
and you kind of come to, and he sees this, and you see his eyes change color, and then all of a sudden he erupts into a
They
pillar
try to shield
of
Father
smoke,
Bloombat.
and then just like the horse and the person just erupt into a pillar of smoke, and it flees off to the southwest in the air.
Uh-oh. I just put 2 and 2 together.
That was
But
no
not
man.
Yeah, but my character's not going to put 2 and 2 together, but I put two and two
The
together.
fact that that means, yeah, he's not a person. His normal form is not a person. I mean, there's a little bit of meta knowledge here. I would have expected to see an actual saving throw, so it means he's not even susceptible to it.
Yeah.
So that means he's
By the way,
his natural form. His natural form is not humanoid, or if it is, it's larger than a man.
What I was
Not a human born.
What I was going to say is that since he kept referring to ages, and this, I was going to ask him. So, have you in previous trips met a certain Ullman, whatever? Because I figure if he knew anybody,
That'd be good.
that's what I was going to ask him. But that's when the mace came out, and it stopped me. I didn't bring it up because I figured if I died in that conversation,
It
It
would just be embarrassed.
Yeah, I got that same impression too, which was what led me to my surmise when he poofed.
Okay, very quickly, we'll try to give you all the information about this. It doesn't seem like you'll learn that much information about Krogville, although it seems like maybe Monacan has that place a little more under his thumb than these other places, so I don't know.
Is it, you said Frogville?
Krogville, as in
Frogville. Got it.
That's where the Krogan settled down.
No,
I mean, that place, we should... Yeah. We'll pop our heads in soon, but it's not... It seems like it's a lower priority, maybe.
You can start there
Right.
at that tavern now, because it's part of the sanctuary and you know where it is.
That's cool.
Well, I'm sorry, you do have to go there, but we'll do that on the way back, if you want to end in Krogville. Okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. You travel the rest of the day. It is now evening time. You make it to a place that is full of just mud and daub huts and shanties. That's all you can see. It doesn't look like any wood has gotten here. And then you see a tent, and this is all on the near side of the river, all these places. You see a bridge, and you see a bunch of armed people at the bridge, and every once in a while, people are pulling hand carts and stuff and coming and going from the bridge, and people are stopping them and asking for a bridge fee. You can also see, I'm sorry if I already said this, but there is a tent. This tent is a command-style tent, like as if on a campaign. It is the fanciest thing in this whole area.
Okay. Well, let's march up to it.
Okay.
And I'll march up and get off my horse.
All right, yeah, if you do that, someone comes out of the tent. He's wearing robes, but just like robes that a normal person would wear, but much finer than the stuff that, like all these peasants.
An administrator of sorts.
Yeah, and he comes out and
functionary.
curses. He's obviously upset. He steps in some crap, which is becoming normal for him, but he's still fighting with that. He swats at some bugs, which is becoming normal for him. He almost trips on a chicken, and he's like, "Who are you? Did Fingon send you?"
Who the hell is Fingon?
Who the hell is... what on earth? Wait, guards! Who are you people?
We're
Yeah,
from
the next you
Synth.
say me. So,
He's alarmed, they see all these like armed people and calls for guards, assuming that you're bandits or something.
We're-
Calm
we're-
yourself, sir. We're not
I
men of
hand
mischief.
my reins to Rollo, and I tell him to hang onto the horse and stay mounted, and I come down to lend my hand in these discussions before they go out of hand.
He backs back toward the tent. He's like,
Nope,
you should
weapon in my
know.
hand.
You should know that no armed bands could come here. If you lay a hand on me or harm anyone here, you will answer for it. You will not get by with it.
No concern, sir. We're not men of mischief, but fellow travelers under the law.
Who are you?
Some can say we are the law back where we are from.
We
We are-
represent Kayden's Rest.
Okay, what is that?
What?
I just sort of turn around and I point at the huge walled city that's like a mile to the east.
You
That
can
thing?
see it from here, man.
It's that. It's that over there.
You're that wood fort up there.
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel like I'm in Cherry Hill again.
Oh, you're in that. You're the brigands, the war band that occupies that wood fort up on on that peninsula.
Where do you
we're a
come
little
by
bit
that?
Magnus laughs.
Brigand on this. Where do
We
you
haven't
come
really done
from
any
on-
brigandry.
And who do you represent, sir?
I am Freyr Braylon, and I am the bailiff of Inchberry. He motions toward all these huts and all this farmland and everything.
Well, neighbor, I'm pleased to meet you.
And are you are Fingon's men your enemies, or do you fear them?
Fingon's no, I answer to Fingon. He is my liege lord.
To the west.
Yeah, well, yes.
Much to the east.
And the kingdom
And
of
so what are your orders
kingdom
here?
of Delrata.
What are your orders here, Braylon?
Delrata, make note of that.
What are you to do for Fingon here?
He sighs exasperatedly. Oh, well, we came here to set up this bridge and patrol this road and bring law to this land and some sort of semblance of order. All these people who have been fleeing to the west, and we had hoped to allow them to settle the land here. It was causing a great deal of trouble out west, and it's not going well, frankly. It's not going well at all. He kind of almost like stomps his foot.
Can I ask you a question, sir? What kind of fool would come to a place like this and not think to go up to the walls and talk to the people and talk to the folks living inside the walls? What kind of ignorance do you have to come here and imagine there's not already something going on here?
Now, there's
Do
no
you turn
reason.
a blind eye on purpose?
There's no reason to insult me. I am a loyal vassal of my lord, and he asked me to do this, and I'm doing my best.
Someone
had a
better
weird
say
day.
something to him before
It's-
Call us brigands, and frankly, that hurt our feelings.
Yes,
Yeah.
friend, if I may step in, we've gotten off on the wrong foot, but surely my friend has asked a reasonable question. Did you not think to send a messenger to the walls to find out who your neighbor might be?
If you should know, I don't know. As far as I knew, those were robbers and brigands that occupied those walls. I could spare no men at all. And
We're 3 hours away.
But you would actually set up next to
and there are plenty of other wood forts just out that way that it's just the same matter, and we're doing the very
Well, you
best
must have
we
thanked
can.
you must have thanked your lucky stars that these brigands, neighbors of yours, didn't come out and assault you the first
While you were
moment you
setting
set
up?
up camp.
They do
Yeah.
every night.
What?
What?
Yes, we're barely defending this bridge.
Oh, I see.
Immediately, the entire atmosphere changes as we suddenly shift to like, okay, now we're paying attention.
Okay, where are these?
Dismount.
Yep.
Every night, you say?
Well, every few nights, yes.
Every few nights?
it-
Every few weeks?
It's Lady Mare's, if she could even be called a lady anymore. It's her men out there in the west. They've set up wood forts and they raid the roads and cause all sorts of manner of havoc. And it's up to
Now-
us. It's up to.
Is she?
It's up to. What's his name again?
Bravo.
Fingon. It's up to
Fingon,
Lord
sorry,
Fingon
Fingon. I
to
said
bring
Bravo.
order and
Oh my
law
God.
to these lands.
No, listen. Is Lord Fingon the Lord per se, or just one of them?
What is that supposed to mean?
It's an honest question. Assume I know nothing, friend.
Is
If
who is
you,
his liege lord?
You're gonna see him. He knows nothing.
I see what you mean. Yes, the kingdom of Delrata. Yes, it is fallen.
Yes. Which is unfortunate. Yes, you'd heard the news from the crier, I assume.
What?
That's a different kingdom.
That's a different kingdom.
Eastreach is not the Eastreach.
You all
is,
say that, you all say that in character. He's like, Eastreach has fallen. He
It
looks.
just
He has
fell.
like a vacant stare and looks off in the distance. He's like,
Yes.
I have to leave. I have to leave. He starts going back in his tent. He's gonna give
Hold
up.
on. Now, hold on. I'm
Hold on,
gonna
sir. Hold on.
hold on. Now, wait right there, if you would. I have something I want to show you.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. He's like,
Dag nabbit. I
okay,
got one scroll left.
okay,
Really?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
No, this is a good call, I think.
two fails and a useless. Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
not
I don't
going
know
out
where the
like
heck
that.
was.
I'm not going out like that.
He fails. Okay, so
Okay. And so if you'll just let me show you something, sir, and then yes, I'll
Yeah, he's compliant. He's like, okay, very well. And what are you trying to show him?
Yeah, well, I want to show him. I'll actually roll it again. You know, I've changed my mind. Instead, I just wish to give you, well, kudos, sir. You have my compliments. It hasn't been easy out here, has it?
He beams. He's like, yes, thank you. Yes,
Yes.
this frontier land, I can tell that you all represent a law from the east. You know what we should do. You know what we should do. We should have an alliance. Yes, I should write a letter to my Lord Fingon, and we should have an alliance of east and west, and put him into the menace of Lady Mare.
Yes, and I think it's not even necessary to write to your lord, is it?
You're right. Why? In fact, if I show some initiative, perhaps we could turn things around here.
I believe we could. How many men do you have at your disposal, good sir?
40.
40 men. I look over at Flanagan.
Yes, I know that it's not hardly enough. I know that.
No, indeed, but perhaps together we could achieve much.
With that, we're out of time, but I think you got what you wanted anyway. And
yeah, dang nabbit, I'm not leaving without a servant.
I will say that
somebody.
If we weren't rushed at the very end, I would have turned around to Algar and gone east and west. It's 3 freaking miles.
For real.
Yeah, people like
a
lot of people never hardly see more than 5 or 10 miles in their whole life. I mean,
but I'm just saying the way he says east and west.
Yeah, it's like some alliance of great powers.
Well, the thing is, I mean, to get political for a second, if East Reach has just fallen, it's possible that we are the East in terms of.
And he represents the West on the other side of the island.
So you all make it back if you prefer. I mean, tell me if you don't want to, but to Krogville, to the Riverside Rounds.
Let's go to Krogville and hang out there.
Yeah.
And I won't go into any details there, but it's just outside the gate. So this is a new tavern and a new place you can also come and start at, and that ends the adventure for the night.